we are here. Here's the weather report. It's hot. It's very hot. And I am so glad that everyone is persevering to, if not actually brave the weather, to at least brave the indoors or just find a way to do it. Some people are turning off their ACs just to be part of this tonight, especially the feature. More on her in a moment. Uh, it's um, it's a hot one. I hope you guys are keeping cool however you can, whether it's staying early, staying in your job, staying in your cars, staying in the one room with air conditioning, letting the rain trickle on you from a nearby window. We just had a thunder and lightning over here, and in my Boston home. So if you haven't seen it, heard it yet, and you're living in my area, you're probably gonna hear it soon. It's uh, it's pretty amazing. So, oh, that might be why I'm slow to do introductions today. I'm starting. I had to finally rehydrate myself. Only I was doing it with Sprite Zero. Not a good move. But I drank water and now I'm ready to say welcome again to Stone Soup and welcome tonight's feature, Patricia Carragon, coming all the way from New York, finishing up a like most of us, a futile effort in pamphleting and politicking and cheering for their ideal candidate that didn't win. Ugh. Anyway, I don't know how you do it week in election after election. Have we had like six elections since Trump got thrown out of office? That's what it feels like. Is it like 2028 already? I have no idea. No concept of time. Patricia Carragon is a well-noted poet, editor, contributor to websites, to haiku anthologies. She is a novelist now. She is an editor of the Brownstone Poets Anthology. She is the host of the Brownstone Poets reading series that is still going on in its own online Zoom form, the way everything else is. She's got new books to peddle. She's got new books to put links to in the comment section. Maybe she has a PayPal or a Cash App or a Venmo that you can send money
PayPal.
to. Okay, awesome.
PayPal.
Yeah, put the PayPal link in there.
I'll do it. I'll do it after the reading. Okay. It's
Sounds
okay.
Good. Sounds perfect.
I'm on the computer. It's very hard to go. Boop, 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 boop.
I hear you. So this is what we have. We have our stalwarts. We have some new people. I'm very excited about that. Patricia is one of the earliest joiners of the open mic here at the online Stone Soup experience. Hopefully we can have her live in Boston someday. Hope we can have everyone who's been participating and keeping this going live again. We're counting down to September, and hopefully the Delta version of the virus doesn't come from the west coast of California. Stupid to hear, and hoping that people are still staying safe. That we can make September a reality. I really hope so. Stay safe in addition to staying warm. Just stay safe overall. It'll cover everything. Hydration, illness, free of illness, etc. We have a nice full open mic. We're gonna get started with one of the first people I saw. It would have been Patricia, but she's featuring. I don't think she wants to open mic and feature. That seems a little too much. So we're gonna take it to a recent online Stone Soup feature himself. Not willing to rest on his laurels, he continues to contribute to journals, put out books, be on every open mic possible. I'm jealous of his energy. Mr. John Wesick.
Thank you, Chad.
Hello.
If you would talk to rocks, you must speak the language of rocks, the language of vibration and crystal perfection, nouns like limestone and granite, adjectives, hard, cold, rough, and sentences longer than the age of the earth. If you would talk to stars, you must speak of gravity, hydrogen, and solar winds. But how can you talk to the architect of space and time with words that evolved huddling naked on the African savanna? Cosmic grammar confounds the mind when even the tiniest quarks and leptons make mathematics run screaming from the room. Once I thought I could enter the mind of God by speaking the language of God, but I can't support continents on my shoulders, nor can I fuse hydrogen into helium in my spleen. my words remain all too human. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, John. Are people able to hear me better now?
A little bit.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. So thank you so much for contributing, John. And now, who do we have next on the open mic that's ready to go? Yes, I saw him earlier. I hope his mic is improved. We haven't seen him for a couple weeks. We missed him. That's right, Bill. We missed you. He's been busy in another part of the country. Let us welcome back Mr. Bill Lewis, Mr. Remote Guy Bill, Mr. Working on House Bill, Mr. Humanitarian Effort Bill. We know him as Bill. Welcome, sir.
Greetings, greetings. It is good to see you all again. It is one, whew, it's a lot of work. Tearing apart houses, putting back together houses. Oh, windows. Windows are a big deal. Window frames, sashes, weights and counterweights. Okay, I can do something. La 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 la. Wet and oil aching arms and weary legs, the ringing of the hammer, bars, as the wood crackles as it bends against the nails, the screws. 100 years old. 100 years since Uncle Joe, his brothers, uncles, sisters, built a refuge in the wilds of the north, a tiny farmhouse, a tiny farm, a lifetime of labor, a lifetime of sweat, a lifetime of love. They're here, you know, watching, listening, nodding, laughing, watching the house grow young again. Once loved, once respected, then sold as just a thing to serve a temporary whim, then sold again, neglected, unloved, uncared for, peeling paint, falling plaster for, just unneeded in a world of electricity and cars, fallow fields, overgrown by tansy, wildflowers, solid carcasses, the thing, till now, till we came, till we met Robert and inquired of its past, its history, its creator, its family. Little Robert was just a boy when he helped his Uncle Joe build a paradise in Idaho, a place of joy and excitement and work, all work, cows and farms and plows and horses. Every year I would sit with little Robert and listen to his tales. Little Robert, now hardly able to walk without his oxygen tank. Robert at 95, reveling in an attentive audience, talking about the old days, cows and horses, the plows, the hay, turning up those same clouds of dust from 100 years before. Little Robert and Uncle Joe, brothers, sisters, cousins, all in heaven now, watching us rebuild their farm, watching us rebuild their love. Just as we savor the apples and cherries that they left us, one day others will savor the nuts and fruits we plant today. Here's to you, Uncle Joe. Here's to you, little Robert. Here's to everyone who works with their hands, their hearts, their friends. Here's to you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much. Little jarbled there, but I know you're doing good work out there. That has made abundantly clear. Hope we get you back in Boston at some point. That would be amazing. Be nice to have you. Be nice to have everyone in September. I'm keeping the light of hope on for that. I'm glad you're doing well because we didn't hear from you for a while. So it's good to have your face back on the Zoom windows there. Who are we going to have next? Yes, I'm going to ask to unmute for her to unmute. And Jan Rowe is going to be next. You might not be able to see her, but she's around. She's here. Jan, are you ready? Jan Rowe? There you are.
Yeah, it's your turn, honey.
Oh, I didn't know. How do you have to do it?
Just talking to it.
Hi. Sorry with the audio problem, visual problems. I have something different this week. It was a poetry reading by this woman, Dr. Catherine Black, who lived on Louisburg Square for a while, pretty fancy on Beacon Hill with her 6 kids and their kids. But anyway, she didn't write this. She just brought it to the poetry reading, and I can kind of relate to it. Elegy for the personal letter. I miss the rumpled corners of correspondence, the ink blots and crossouts that show someone lives on the other end. A person whose hands make errors, leave traces. I miss fine stationery, its raised, elegant lettering prominent on creamy shades of ivory or pearl gray. I even miss hasty notes dashed off on notebook paper, edges ragged as their scribbled messages. Can't write much now, thinking of you. When letters come now, they are formatted by some distant computer addressed to occupant or to the family living at. Meager greetings at best, salutations made by committee among the glossy catalogs and one-time only offers, the bills and invoices. Letters arrive so rarely now that I drop all other mail to the floor when an envelope arrives, and the handwriting is actual handwriting. The return address somewhere I can locate on any map. So seldom is it that letters come that I stop everything else to identify the scrawl that has come this far, the twist and the whirl of the letters, the loops of the numerals. I open those envelopes first, forgetting the claim of any other mail, hoping for news I could not read in any other way but this. By Allison Joseph. Thank you.
Very nice, Jan. Thank you. We're gonna keep the grid view open, and we're gonna go to our one of our phone call contributors. This is one of our longest standing open mic participants since we've gone online, which is a little ironic because she's not online. She is joining us by phone, but wouldn't have it any other way. And hopefully she'll be as active this summer as she was last summer. The National Poetry Marathon happened last year, completely virtual, and Carol was still able to contribute. And hopefully that'll still happen this year as well. And I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure of that. But for now, we have her tonight. So let me stop talking and welcome up Carol Weston. Oh, who I need to help with the unmuting. So 1 second, Carol. You are up, Carol. You're all set.
Okay, thank you. Well, this is to the young bomber of the marathon, Tester Naev, a shamanic vision. You went up to the sun and out the other side, then into the sperm whale's jaw and stomach and out of his mouth. High in the sky, I asked you, who are your friends? The microscopic creatures in the clouds, you answered. Who are you, broken one, who brought the bomb to the square to kill the athletes coming in, the running legs of youth like you blown off? You wrote in your own blood on the boat where you hid in Watertown while the bullets rained over you. that you brought the bomb to show us what it means, what it feels like when we who are Christians bomb Muslims in Iraq and Afghanistan. Sweet boy, duty bound to kill the enemy ourselves. In a book, in a bar in Cambridge, where the bomb scene was played over and over on Channel 7, I asked the bar girl what she thinks of you. Scum bug, she said. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Thanks to everyone who is just joining us. I'm just going to talk for a couple of seconds as CCS Chagra comes on, which should be happening any second now.
I'm trying to get Linda Lerner on. I told her to log on to Zoom and then to do the ID and the password.
She could also just click on the link and Zoom will sign her in too, just so you know.
Where's the link?
I send it to everywhere. I send it to you. It's the
I did. I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
Well, Linda Lerner, right? I'm friends with her
Yeah.
as well. So I'll send her that as well. We can do that.
Yeah, send it to her at Linda Lerner at Mind Spring. You know, you have her address, right?
Well, is she on Facebook?
She's on Facebook.
Yeah, let's see what I can do.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, here she is right here. And whoops, don't want to do that.
Let me just shoot her an email to tell her that just sending her a message now.
Yeah, just tell her all she has to do is click on it. She won't even have to put in the codes.
Okay.
Okay, so that works. And thanks for joining us, CC, and thanks for joining us, Colleen, and other people. Again, if there are people who are interested, I know that CC is going to participate. Colleen, if you're interested in participating, Karen Newberg, I'm assuming Cindy wants to participate in the open mic, so I'll put you on. So if that's the case, just let me know. And looks like we got Minion Ariel King joining us, which is exciting. I'm loving this. So we're gonna keep it going. And just make sure to, is that you, Minion? Minion? Minion, is that you? Who just joined us? Okay, someone's joining us under the Stone Soup name, so I'm hoping it's someone I know. Or it could be Linda Lerner. Okay, someone playing the silent treatment. Okay, so all right. So
She can't get on that way. Can you send it to me? Can you send it to me in an email right now?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Send it to my
Okay.
attention. Thanks.
Okay, excellent. So we are ready to go. We're going to keep the open mic going with Mary Jennings.
Thank you, Chad. I'm going to read some cinquains. 3 of them are the moot point cinquains and 2 are the she won'ts. Mercy is a moot point. Malignancy prospers as the benign is crucified. Justice is a moot point. Deep pockets are a must if you value freedom from blame. Scot-free. Freedom is a moot point. You are only as free as the dogma you embrace allows. Thinking. She won't spin her wheels anymore for the ones who reject on delivery. Ride off. And she won't take your advice on how to be righteous. Bending over is not her bag. Straight up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And it looks like Linda Lerner is about to join us.
Thank
Makes me
God.
Happy. Oh, jeez. Oh, no pressure on me, I guess. All right. Yikes. Haven't seen her since the Brownstone Poets reading of a few years, almost a decade ago. So welcome, Linda.
Hey,
Hi.
you made it, yay.
Wow, that was hard.
No worries. You got to read on the open mic?
Okay.
Sounds good. I'm going to mute you now, but we'll call you up in a little bit. Who do we have next on Le Open Mic? Let's see. Da-da-da-da. All right, let's see if looks like Peter Kozlowski has offered to read. So if he is willing to read now, we'd love to have him.
Unmute, am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Little hazy with the mic. The mic's a little scratchy, but other than that,
Really? Well, it's a laptop here. Let's see. I'll try to speak up. Anyway,
it's not that you're speaking up. There's static after, you can talk as long as you like, but there's a little static. So maybe you want to move the mic. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna guess the input is too high.
well, maybe I turn off my speakers. Does that help?
Try
I don't
saying
know.
something now.
It's a built-in mic in the computer, so
That sounds
I'm not
a little
even
better.
sure where exactly it is.
It sounds a little better. It sounds a little better. As long as you're not too close to the mic, I think you'll be fine.
Well, I've been working on putting out a book of
You don't have
poems.
to talk as loud. You don't have to talk as loud.
All right. Working on putting out this book of poems by a friend who died a couple years ago. It's called Devotions and Desecrations on the Downtown Bus by J.D. Reach, who was a poet, singer, songwriter, band leader, and a lot of things. And tomorrow's the publication date. And here, I want to read from it. Devotion number, see, she had a street financial district, and then back home in the East Village, she's a punk rock crazy poet anyway, and on the bus ride between the two, she wrote poems. Anyway, number 169. Sleep did not come easy last night. Now I sit within an imitation cotton hangover head. Though I was completely and horribly alert until 4:15 a.m. It's 8:05 now. Wet spray under the umbrella day. SIO on the bus. Heavy traffic as we reach Delancey. Sometimes I feel I cannot bear another day like this. Whereupon rising, I already know that it will be inconvenient from dawn until around midnight, with me yawning all the way. I would like to sleep in my seat, but all my pills are brewing in my stomach. Every effort is directed towards containing the vomit. The guy in the seat next to me wants to get out. Of course, I have the laptop, the knapsack, book of devotions, and umbrella sticking from my pocket. Borrowed change within today. In this mess, somehow I know I'm beautiful.
We'll move on. We'll move on from here. But thank you, Pete. You might want to work on your mic a little bit, but okay. But we're going to move on to the next person who, let's see. I'm going to move on to Cece Ashagra. Cece, are you ready?
Yes, yes.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you, Cindy. A while back, I think it was back maybe almost over a decade ago, I jumped onto the early trend where there were poets and writers on a site called Redbubble, which now sells t-shirts and cups to make money. But it was a beautiful relationship and community between writers, and it was like 90% of visual artists. back then, but painters of all from all over the world, amazing talent. But in order to make money over the decades, they gradually went with T-shirts and cups, and a lot of the fine artists left. But during that time, there was an artist from England, which I wrote a poem for, ended up at an art show in England next to a work of art. And another guy who only did nudes, and that was another one. But this one was from an artist named Gigi, and she was from France. And I don't have the picture with me now. She called herself Micmac on the website. I forget her actual name, which Gigi, I guess Gigi something. Anyway, infants and human and mortal are we. Oh, to see the soul dying in the fleeting decay of it all, as the child dead is not, so we are driven deep into fear's wonder. A heartache itself is a mystery of bitters. Yet the tastes of life are so, and so we are to face its living deaths. Come to the funeral of we are all born here. Attend to lost lives which give meaning to our hands. Our missing reasons, lost and found. Bye-bye to our need to hold grief. The twist of storms that sink our wrecked moorings and bring us to days and thanks for life passing. And so from the sockets of our skulls, still aging, facing how human and mortal tides dry, a branch of hope comes to touch. A touch of growth is the leaves of a newborn time spring. So must we, and so must we in our unending human infancy, as infant and human and mortal are we. I just remembered the image, and I could try to describe it. I think it was like a seascape, but there was a doll that was on the rocks, but it was there long enough where there was a growth coming out of the doll's eye, like a crack in the Brooklyn cement sidewalk. So I think that was the inspiration for that. But writing that was the thing I did for almost a year and a half when I was out in Washington State. I wrote a lot of poetry based on paintings and art. It's a beautiful thing to do.
Thanks so much for sharing that, Cece. If you ever find the image, we'd love to look at it.
Yeah, okay.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. Yeah, just me and the Smithsonian doesn't know what to do with the digital upgrades.
There you go. So I'm going to bring up next, joining us all the way again from New York. Nothing new tonight, but it's good to have her here. Let's welcome up Linda Lerner.
What?
Sorry about that. Looks like we're welcoming up Linda. Are you ready to read?
Oh, yeah. Your voice, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Oh, but it looks like you got to mute. It looks like you have to unmute yourself again. Linda, you have to unmute yourself again. Linda, can you unmute yourself? Okay, you're good.
It's okay. Never get the hang of this technology. Survival lines. The line stretched down a long block, rounding a corner and crisscrossing with other lines I'd stood on to protest a war or injustice, which often mobbed out of control. This line stayed intact, unlike lines to see a movie, get on a plane, or for a store sale. It had a different urgency about it. No one joked or smiled, stood apart, as though behind bars we looked out from, struggling to stay warm. A bitterly cold day stamped our feet or moved back and forth in place. One man pointed to a nearby building where he worked, wished he could wait inside. Another said he buried his brother last week, didn't say why, didn't have to. I knew why I was on this line, unlike one sudden street closings around Times Square forced me on as I was heading to the theater, feeling trapped and angry. I hadn't smelled smoke coming from a car 2 vendors spotted, or that a bomb which had been ignited failed to go off until I was safely off this line. Craning to my neck to see how much further, bumped into my mother's voice on a 1930s line to buy food. Bank lines my grandfather and others stood on for hours to withdraw money, knocked off by "That's all for today" voice, reaching me nearly a century later, as inch by inch the line I stood on moved past it. Were you able to hear that clearly enough?
Absolutely. Thank you so
Oh,
much. for
okay, and I
sharing.
have a short one
Okay.
from a stranger. This was just in Streetlight magazine. It's for Marvin Gordon. Thank you, he said, when I moved well to the side to ensure a safe enough social distance for him to pass. What my ballet teacher did in those early AIDS years by shaking his head, motioning with his hands to push me away when I reached out to hug this teacher I adored, just home from the hospital, who assured me, all of us, he didn't have AIDS, and being naive and young. But I wasn't all that young not to get a patronizing, if you say so, look from those I told what I needed to be true. A stranger's thank you now brought back, words I say posthumously. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Okay.
That was fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being here with Stone Soup. First time back in a while. We're going to bring up now one of our people joining by phone. Hopefully, Nancy, you'll be able to press *6 and unmute yourself. She's been a contributor to the Stone Soup online forum, also by phone since the very beginning. And it's great to have her. Let's welcome up Nancy Dotson.
Planting. Creativity is planting plants. Where would they sprout best? Light, shade, and the arrangement? Good earth, water, and would they bloom? Choking weeds grow as a strangler. The blue, unworthy sky lifted my eyes upward. The plants would grow at my feet. Their blossoms hopefully would be ever growing. But watering was a poodle's forte as she sniffed the ground and I lifted the watering can.
Thank you, Nancy. And we are moving on to the next person. It's unclear who the next person is because I'm trying to get some confirmation. So I'm just going to ask them outright. I know your audio is working, Colleen Hulan. Would you be interested in sharing a poem with us today?
You can hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yes, we all can.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I don't quite have, let's see, I could pull something, sort of a blast from the past, maybe.
Why not?
All right, let's see. I don't know what this one is here. Oh, okay. I like this one. Envy. I am the worst kind of guest. Poverty, my perverter, touches things I've been warned against. A hiss in the breast. My long neck coils, rolls back on itself. Fantastic fangs drip white blood, the bleaching of a poison, self-inflicting melancholia, muted murderous malaise, not content to stand outside each light of a $7,000 chandelier, trembling, twitching, taunt lioness, eyeing the wounded before the final flay. To tear into two with teeth and nails, difficult for us to let you inside. What with that mad look in your eye? Rightly so. Already the weapons in my hand, like a crazed European explorer, how to take over this land and render it mere soil. All precious ore digested, ingested. There is not enough guest soap in the house. My blood-drenched hands decidedly messy. Pull back smooth, perfumed sheets. I am exhausted from eating the living. In a dwelling whose keyhole is too small for my eye, birds of prey circle. The host's cajoled message, stay as long as you like. With a shard of thigh bone sucked between teeth, I think I'll take them up on the offer. What thrives is the ode of a have-not, Narcissus's image before the water ceases. In the murky, rotting pool of bitterness, the reflection is always me. That's about jealousy.
Thanks, Colleen. Good to have you back.
Thanks.
Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, I still can't get my video working. It's ridiculous.
I wish you luck. I'm not one of those people who can consult someone over a Zoom call.
Right.
All I'll tell you to do is turn the computer off and on again. So, and we want you to stay around for a while. So who do we have next? Oh, I wanted to ask Cindy Hotchman if she was able to go, if she wanted to go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, Cindy Hotchman, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Hockman. And if you don't believe me, ask Alan Hockman, who's sitting right there. He's my ex-husband. And that's why I'm going to read a poem about our marriage. That's called A Partial View of a 6-Month Marriage. And you know that poets embellish, so none of it's true. Right, Alan? Tongues and thresholds. The lovesick groom carries the homesick bride to the smell of Cajun spice, the sound of Caribbean drums. South Florida in October. There's a lizard in the kitchen and dust in my coffee. The fireplace forecasts our future. Paper, ash, disaster. The heartbroken dog hangs his heavy velvet head. A fat waitress counsels us over hotcakes and deliberations. The plaster is peeling. You bring me pills and platitudes, spit at my kissless face. Love marks itself absent, while lust pleads the fifth. Someone strikes a match, and we lay like two dull sticks in the hiss and glow of another spiteful night. Next morning, we talk over strangled eggs and bacon. El Nino wets the bed, predicts more storm. All lies. I love you, Alan. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you very much. And wow, come back again. Who do we have? Who do I want next? I'm going to ask my friend Minion if she would be interested in performing tonight. Minion Ariel King. I don't know if she's got her. Oh, looks like she's got her sound on.
Yes, I think so. Okay, I left you a note. I have a migraine, so my voice sounds like hell, but here we go. Words are not all. Poetry is not everything. It's neither vacation from the reality nor vocation to keep a roof overhead. It will not patch a roof that leaks, or repair broken relations, or teach a teen to make his bed. Not everyone considers it useful to hear or worthwhile to write. Most actually do not. And perhaps someday, when I am colder than ever and hungriest for something tangible to digest, and it has been a long time since I touched anything rough, with longing before or satisfaction after, on a day trapped in its own melodrama. Perhaps then I will renounce rhythm for a hot sandwich and a tattered but cozy blanket, but I do not think that this is so. That, of course, was based on love is not all, it is not meat nor drink. Thanks.
Thanks, Minion, and congratulations on your new place, by the way.
Thank you.
No, I'm not surprised to hear a home themed poem from you. Thanks
Indeed.
for all this information. So hopefully we'll see more of you. I'm very happy to hear the news from your Facebook.
You're too sweet.
Let's move on to the next person. We have an Alan H here, and I don't know if he'd be interested in performing. I don't know if his mic's working again. A couple of people have had mic issues, but Alan, would you be interested in reading, or are you going to have to pass? So it looks like Alan is not available. If he wants to come back later, we can do that. For now,
Alan isn't a poet.
what's that?
He's not a poet. He's my.
Oh, I didn't know if he was. I didn't realize he was. Oh, just a silent participant. Like
Yeah,
Karen. Okay.
it doesn't say Hockman. The H is for Hockman. But he's not a poet.
Gotcha. Okay.
He just marries poets.
Gotcha. We're gonna move on next to the final open micer for tonight. And that would be the man whose column It's All One Thing comes out in Oddball Magazine. Check out oddballmagazine.com in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have some spectacular poets coming on. I can promise you that. We've had some really good ones today. Two brand new, one returning poet, one new poet. Of course, their names escape me, even though I was working on putting them up all day, and promoting them. But check out oddballmagazine.com and check out this man's work. It's All One Thing column airs every Thursday morning without fail at 11 o'clock, and also some new debuted features at Oddball Magazine tomorrow. Check it out. Check out a new special multimedia format at 5 o'clock tomorrow at oddballmagazine.com. I don't want to say any more. For now, let's welcome up the current man of the hour, Mr. James Van Looy.
Thanks, Chad. So I have a poem here called Shrove Tuesday 2021. Shrove Tuesday, of course, is also Mardi Gras, sometimes called Fat Tuesday. Was part of the regular, it's the day before Lent starts. On Mardi Gras, Shrove Tuesday, I'm translating, typing into Google a whole chapter of my great-grandfather's cousin's autobiography, in which he first-person narrates of going with his Gromo, my triple great-grandmother, to a carnival circus tent performance with a Pius, a clown, and a Harlem Mishi girl riding a pard, a horse. And there, the ringmaster, with a white top hat and whip, and then a juggler with balls, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then knives and torches become acrobats standing in tower on each other's shoulders. So after the show, she asks him how he likes it, and he replies, "Het is niet so pleaserig als fishing. It's not so pleasant as fishing." And I've been fishing too for submerged fishes in this decades-long quest to find the truth in those long lists of names and dates, if you can find them, bare genealogies, bones of name and time to calculate and history correlate, even as the United Snakes as a country everywhere stumbles over the glossed over contradictions of its racist reductions practiced to perfection over many centuries. And Mardi Gras has become Lent, while in the Netherlands, Lent is the spring that must still be there waiting to appear in pandemic time of loss and sorrow, when Lent just went on and on for a year. And yes, yeah, niet so pleaserig als fishing, hauling in the line. And I got a little song for you here. Oh, when you're smiling when you smiling, the whole world smiles with you, baby, baby, baby. And when you're laughing, and when you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring on the rain, so stop your sighing. Be happy again and keep on smiling. Keep on smiling, and the whole world smiles with you. Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much, Mr. James Van Looy. It's now time for our feature. I'm so glad that we have a full house tonight. Almost more people that I can keep on one screen. Very fitting for the person who is an organizer and like me hopes for a full house every time she hosts an online reading or even a live reading. I've had the pleasure to be part of both forms of her Brownstone Poets series. The online version as recently as this year, and or was it last year? The months pack on. It was last year, and then about 10 years ago, when I visited New York and had the pleasure to read with the Brownstone Poets and see Linda Lerner and see a whole host of other characters as colorful as the ones I cultivate as Stone Soup. Very much a pleasure, and I've been following her work, and it's been amazing to see her grow. And now she's got a novel. But enough about my rambling. I'm going to ramble while reading the boilerplate, reading the poet's bio, which every poet should have done. Patricia Carragon. Her recent fiction piece, What Has to Happen Next, has been nominated for Sundress Publication Annual Best of the Net Anthology. Her poem, Paris the Beautiful, won Poem of the Week from Great Weather for Media. She was nominated by Bear Creek Haiku for a Pushcart Prize. Her latest books include From Poets Wear Prada, Meow Ku and the Cupcake Chronicles, and her debut novel, Angel Fire, is from Alien Buddha Press. Patricia hosts the Brownstone Poets as the editor-in-chief of its annual anthology. She is, on top of it all, an executive editor for Home Planet News Online. While living in Brooklyn, New York, and she doesn't mention in her bio by being as political as hell, being an activist. It was a pleasure hearing her every time from New York, because it gave me hope that things are going to be okay. That it's good that someone I liked was surviving in New York, and it was good that there was someone still able to fight the good fight in New York. So Patricia gave me, and I'm sure a lot of other people, a lot of hope. And I'm sure she's going to be, I'm sure her novel is going to be fantastic. She's dropped links to her PayPal. She's dropped links to the Amazon page for Angel Fire. I'm so envious she got a novel out. I can't wait to read it. And the rest of her, if you've never heard her before, you're in for a treat. If you have heard her before, then you know you don't need me to butter her up for you, and you want me to just shut up and get on with it, and I shall get on with it. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together 30 to 50 times for someone whose hard work has been paying off for a while. I'm so glad to see it. Patricia Carragon.
Thank you so much, Chad. You're really making me blush in this heat. Okay, I hope I survive. You don't see my fan, at least you see pretty flowers. Okay, this is going to be from Angel Fire from Alien Buddha Press. It's on Amazon. It takes place about 3 women, Sarah, Kate, and Dana. It takes place in the years 2001 through 2008 with the Obama election. It delves into the paranormal, and it's about this little girl, 10-year-old girl. She had a tragic death. She lived back in the mid-60s, and she keeps visiting women who have problems, and for some reason, she wants them to write her book, her memoir. So it gets very intense. It gets very, very sexual, and it delves into the bullshit that goes on in the business world. I know that from firsthand. So let me be quiet. Let me read you a portion of chapter 2. This is from Sarah. It takes place in 2001. For the most part, Sarah's work week went by uneventfully. Her nights have been dreamless, at least, and her subway commutes bearable. On Friday morning, Sarah arrived early to work so as to give herself ample time to type the updated fall ready-to-wear presentation memo for the copy director, Jill Myers, her darling boss with the blonde highlights and perfect gym butt. Before Sarah was able to finish her muffin and coffee, the red light on the phone from Jill's extension lit up. Sarah stopped eating so that she could listen to another one of her boss's high-pitched demands. Jill barked. "Sir, did you finish the memo yet?" "Give me a few minutes, please," said Sarah, already stressed out. Sarah's boss ended the conversation with a click. Hidden behind flimsy cubby-wall walls, Sarah slammed the phone down, knowing that Jill would make her redo it 5 more times. Her boss's attitude toward her had changed over the past few months, becoming more distant and fault-finding. Sarah had lost a lot of sleep this past weekend. She had gone to the movies on Saturday, but the queen bitch wouldn't want to hear about it. Jill had stopped asking her about her weekends months ago. Perhaps I'm sorry, apologize. Sarah's activities weren't exciting enough. Sarah couldn't find a man to help cover her expenses and make her more sociably acceptable, nor could she afford to hang out, travel, learn to ski, play tennis, or go to fine restaurants. Sarah's salary barely covered the rent, food, and bills. She gritted her teeth and slammed her fist on the keyboard. How she wished it were her lovely boss's face instead. She would love to pile drive her and pin her Park Avenue ass to the floor, but Steinberger's HR would reward her with a long holiday at the Rikers Island Correctional Facility. The phone rang again, and Jill asked her to hurry up with the memo, reminding her that the presentation was at 4. She insisted on calling Sarah Sar. Sarah held back her temper. She wanted to scream out, "My name is Sarah, not Sar." She hated her boss for giving her a nickname that sounded like a disease. She almost clenched her teeth again, but stopped instead. Another trip to Dr. Horowitz would eat up her insurance and meager paycheck. She sat in her cubbyhole cell, defeated. She sipped on her 3-hour-old coffee for instant inspiration. The boost of cold caffeine grounded her, and she returned to work, forgetting about sending that postcard from Rikers. And now we move on to her portion where Sarah is preparing to go to bed after having a few drinks and feeling miserable about her life. Too much wine messed with her head. She sped up with the nightly washing of dishes, lingerie, and herself. After putting the toothpaste back in the medicine cabinet, Sarah stared at the mirror, wondering if she would be okay tonight. Reddened eyes never lied. In her haste to expedite her bathroom ritual, she nearly knocked over the toiletries on the sink. Being too tired, she forgot to flush. Only the bed in the darkness knew whether that child would be back again. She stumbled toward the bedroom, flicked the light switch off, and collapsed into bed. Except the digital tick-tocks, all sounds faded into the blackness. Sarah had another dream. This time it took place in the kitchen with dated appliances from her parents' generation. She looked at the clock on the nightstand. In 6 hours, the alarm would be buzzing. Her restlessness paced with the clock. For the next hour, she tossed in bed before pounding out her frustrations on the keyboard. As she began to type, it dawned on her that there was another Steinberger's connection. "Allie, would you get up already? Time to go to school," yelled Gloria from the kitchen. Gloria began talking to herself. Damn kid, always a problem, just like her mother. Siobhan, why did you do this to me? Why am I such a nebbish for trouble? I married a lazy Jewish schmuck who can't earn a living. He never could even complete his high school. According to Abe's family, I'm his dumb shiksa wife from the Irish Bronx. They keep praising him like he's God's gift to me. He's just a damn clerk. He doesn't bring home the bacon, but he sure does eat it. What a goy I am. I should have married Joey Malone, the mechanic. At least he's doing well with his air conditioning and refrigeration business in Flatbush, Brooklyn. She lowered her voice so that no one in the house could overhear her. Allie heard Aunt Gloria's command, but she could barely get out of bed. The pillow provided minimal comfort for her swollen face. A few minutes passed before Allie came into the kitchen and said good morning to her aunt. Seeing Abe's handiwork across her niece's left cheek made Gloria nervous, and she worried about what Miss Thomas or the classmates might suspect about the Harris household. Her unsteady hands dropped the box of cornflakes, scattering its contents across the linoleum floor. Allie took a seat by the Formica kitchen table and tried to camouflage her tears in the cornflakes. She was not cut out to be a soldier in the urban trenches. The kitchen, traditionally a haven for women to find temporary shelter away from men, was no longer safe, especially with her uncle's job-related problems mounting. She heard a barrage of cigarette-induced coughs coming toward the kitchen. Allie didn't want to face the enforcer this morning, but how could she avoid him? She searched for solace, staring at the floor, faux green marbled linoleum. Fear made her face hurt more. Gloria worked frantically to clean up the cornflakes. Puffing a Lucky Strike, her overweight spouse stood like a human chimney in the doorway between the kitchen and the foyer. He grimaced as he watched his kneeling wife clean up the cereal. His uncombed hair gave him the look of a wild beast, and his belly shook behind his wife-beater shirt as inflammatory words about his financial losses bellied from his mouth. Gloria, what the hell did you do? Want to make the Kellogg family richer this weekend? Want to buy another box of cereal instead of saving for Mikey's college tuition? That kid is a senior at Bronx Science, and he's college material for NYU. Do you want to be like me, a working stiff for Steinberger's accounts payable? I lost down a raise this year, and now I've never be anything more than a clerk. His nibs, Mr. Moran, blames my absenteeism on my kidneys. The guys in the office tells me that the big shots prefer younger blood with college degrees. Gloria said, sorry, Abe, I was in a hurry. I'm concerned about Allie's face. Why are you tied up knots about her? Come on, Gloria, she's a mistake born from a bigger one, snarled Abe. Abe, don't talk about Siobhan like that. Let her rest in peace, for Christ's sake. She made a bad decision. I'm sorry I didn't help her when she needed me. If I had, she would have been alive today. Abe yelled, yeah, and we wouldn't have her kid eating us out of house and home. What a waste. If you wanted to stray, why take in an alley cat? Would have been a hell of a lot cheaper and less trouble. His hazel eyes like knives faced Allie's, ready to inflict more pain. Why are you getting so bent out of shape, Missy? You can't even get through a school year without a trip to the principal's office? It's not her fault that the Schwarzer kid threw dirty water on her, protested Gloria. Hey, what about her own kind? She can't even get along with the white kids. She should learn how to grow up and stop being a fucking whiner. His eyes darted back at his niece, yelling, hey, Allie, stick to the books like Mike instead of picking fights and acting so fucking stupid. I'm not fucking stupid, damn it, screamed Allie. She needed to vent, and whenever she did or not, her uncle would hit her. Are you daring me again, Missy? Would you like me to wash your filthy mouth with soap? Like your right cheek to match the other one? Abe's face turned a color of hell as his right hand clenched into a fist. Abe, stop it. She's just a child. She has to go to school, and you must get to work on time. Please, not now. Abe, you're red as a bee. Your pressure. Please, not now. Look at her face. What will the school say this time? Abe's face paled at the sight of his son in the doorway. His fists relaxed as he greeted Mikey, his future CEO. Mikey asked about the commotion in the kitchen, but his dad said, nothing at all. With a semi-yawn, Mikey headed for his chair by the dinette and poured the milk into his cereal. He read the terror on his mother's face, and especially in his cousin's almond brown eyes. Her uncle had left his mark on her cheek. It was her turn to take the brunt of life. Mom had had hers when she first married him, until she got lucky after being sent to the hospital with a broken nose. After that incident, he never touched her again. It was his turn to step into the ring. He had to learn to duck by being passive. He had to learn to hide behind his books and dreams. His dad respected him for being studious. If only Allie would have been less stubborn. He had tried to teach her the art of survival, but Dad needed to take out his frustrations on someone, and poor Allie was his whipping girl. She wasn't his flesh of blood, and she would never be part of the family. How could she ever be accepted at school when people knew that she was illegitimate? Mom had told him that she was sorry she had confided into Joan Conrad. They had been the best of friends and bridge buddies, and Mom had spilled her heart over wine. The alcohol must have gone to Joan's lips during that Saturday night get-together at Margaret Lipson's. Mom overheard Joan's conversation with Margaret in the kitchen. Out of embarrassment, she left early. That was the last time she played cards and socialized with the women of Kingsbridge Women's Club. Joan lit the match, and from ear to ear, the gossip spread. No wonder the kids at school resented his cousin. They were only mimicking their parents. Allie, you just can't win, thought Mikey. As for his mother, she had come from a lower middle income home, and divorce wasn't an option. Dad donated a good portion of his Steinberger's paycheck to the bookie and the bartenders at the Court Pub near the store. An office job or sales position wouldn't provide security for a single woman with 2 children. She only had a high school degree and was trained to serve those above her station. Mom, you can't win either. Dressed in his worn-out Goodman and Suss pinstripe suit with his hair slicked back, Abe returned to the kitchen to gulp down his lukewarm coffee. Traces of brown dripped down his chin, and he wiped it with a tissue before running off to work. Gloria finished her first hour and a half of housewife duty, handing the lunch bags to the children and sending them off to school. Before Allie could finish buttoning her jacket, her aunt whispered in her ear, "Don't say anything about last night or this morning. If anyone asks about the bruise, just say that you slammed your cheek against the edge of the door when you fell off the kitchen chair." She kissed her on the head and nodded to Mikey. He led the 4th grader down the stairwell and said, "Try to cheer up and stay away from the old man. Just let the big jerk blow his stack until his steam gives out." Allie faked a smile, observing the black and white marbled squares in the lobby. Once outside, she waved goodbye to him. The sun almost blinded her. However, she didn't mind it. Mr. Sunshine painted a storybook picture using her block as a backdrop. Even the garbage cans looked beautiful. She breathed in the autumn air, and it soothed her aching cheek. It was one of those rare moments that made her feel free, and it felt good to be alone. Thank you. I'm going to end with about 5 poems, mostly music oriented. Let me just take a gulp. It's so hot it's hot in this room. I'm burning up, but I'll manage. The Trapper and the Furrier, inspired by Regina Spektor. 2020, a strange, strange year, like a time bomb waiting for breaking news to strike. Beasts in filthy cages, pellets and food, pets from puppy mills, children sleep in soiled cages, family separation, asylum still out of reach, dystopian predictions, dystopian facts. Big business declares war on its workers, unions, wages, healthcare, live at triage. News speak from the White House twists failure into praise, fiction into history. Our self-proclaimed leader plays mobster roulette. The press, elections, and laws face execution. He gives carte blanche to an alien dressed as the flu, and the sick keep getting sicker, and too many fevers, chills, coughs, and losses of smell and taste. Death toll rising, ghost towns replace cities, bodies overflow morgues, the homeless live underground. Tests and cures not fast enough, business as usual for corporate generals. 2020, a strange, strange year. People shut indoors, waiting, not knowing what to believe. Their time bombs, not knowing when to explode. First, they pull your computer's plug, snatch the pen from your hand, tear the letter you intend to write, burn your history to the ground. Then they post labels on you, place tape on your mouth, make sure you can't pass from one point to another. Until they want what you have, come knocking on your door, give you less than 3 minutes to disappear. 2 more. Ruby, my dear. Ruby believed that the past lived in air particles, that walls were witnesses, a black and white movie invisible to all except her. Ghosts of former residents, daily battles and loveless marriages and family disputes, fruitless dreams of the Irish sweepstakes, breadwinners' salaries to pay bookies and barkeepers' rents. From the collapsed kitchen ceiling, a leak's a cappella rhythm banged inside a plastic pail. The voice of angry water sang about accumulated neglect. Ruby's mama clenched her tears, a victim of systemic neglect. No family to fall back on, and her foster parents never cared. Her husband disappeared, left her to deal with life on her own. She had to be strong, had a daughter to raise, worked 2 jobs, long hours, menial pay. Sacrificed her daughter's needs, not enough to feed her landlord's greed. Government assistance had holes in his pockets, and she considered herself lucky to still be eligible. She immersed herself in jazz CDs instead of crack. Monk would take the coal train, Grice would ride his sax and more. Jazz from an earlier time named her daughter Ruby to honor Monk. Ruby studied her mama's expression, found strength in her eyes. She immersed herself into air particles, listened to the leak become jazz, let crayons recycle the stories inside a thick spiral notebook. I'm going to end with Paris the Beautiful, the one that got the prize from the Great Western Media for Poem of the Week. I'm sorry. Heat. Paris the Beautiful. On a rainy night, Jazz drives a taxi, makes conversation in the NYC glare. Raindrops seduce, windshield metronomes fondle. A CD track plays Paris the Beautiful. Gigi Grice's sax mourns for the city of light. His rhythm has grit, a New York accent, sweet and light, moody and remorseful, yearns for the intangible, wishes upon a dying star. Skyscrapers see, but can't reach out. Life's programmed for extremes, with jazz, a shitty affairs beautified, and sadness and addiction support the craft. Jazz cruises past the lights on Broadway, hums along with the rain. Feral sophistication runs in my arteries. The streets give free lessons. Jazz reaches my destination. Guesswork pays my fare. The storm outside, no different than the one within. The rain understands me more than myself. Thank you. Oh, it's hot in hell.
Oh, thank you so much, Patricia. Thank you for being a soldier and for carrying through to the bitter end. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard Patricia Carragon. These links are in the chat for everything from her recent novel Angel Fire from Alien Buddha Press to all her books. And Mr. CC Oshaga was nice enough to show me a link if you don't want to support Amazon. And I can understand anyone's reservations for that. There is another book dealer. There's bookshop.org, and which has a great number of Patricia Carragon's books. I just dropped the link for that there. I will redrop the link for Patricia's PayPal tomorrow on the Stone Soup Facebook page. And I recommend you grab, if you don't want to send her a PayPal tip, you can at least buy her books. Are any of the books available through you, Patricia?
It's hard, you know, I haven't even ordered any of my Angel Fire books I have in the house because of the pandemic. I haven't been going to readings. Everything's on Amazon. It's easier. I have a few Meowku books here,
Right.
but it'd probably be cheaper to get it through Amazon, especially if you have Prime.
Well, if you didn't know, 2 of your books are on Bookshop, which donates to small bookstores every time you buy them from them.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's my thing. I try to promote. I know that Jeff Bezos is poor and he's probably somewhere right now with a cup saying, "Please, I need some food." But if you could do the other one instead, but I went there and I looked and I typed in your name. I typed in Angel File, it didn't come up, but I typed in just your name, and I think a couple came up, and I think
Yeah, Angel Fire should be there. It's my list. It came out came out in October. This past October. Yeah.
Click on the link. You'll see which ones are there. Whatever came up. Anyway.
Yeah, the link is there. You can look it up. You can check it up on Amazon, and you can pass it on there.
Yeah, and there's this fabulous historian. I put that link in there too. You can click on that. It's a lecture she gives. She wrote a book about Wonder Woman, a real deep dive, very interesting historian. Did a deep dive into the history of Wonder Woman, and there was stuff in there I never heard of. But she's a really quite a light in the world of historians. So you might like her. Jill something.
Hmm.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
you everybody for coming tonight. Appreciate it. So hot.
And wow, I will let you.
As soon as this is over.
Yeah. Well, let's let Patricia turn on the
Dying.
AC. I'll hopefully have an announcement by Friday for the next Stone Soup features. Finally getting that underway. We do have some announcements for later on for late July, but I want to make sure that early July we get somebody. I think we have someone who's willing to read right after 4th of July weekend. Some people were not because of because a lot of people are going to be traveling. But if you guys are around, I think I'll be able to make an announcement tomorrow. So thank you guys very much. Patricia, that was a lot. I'm going to look forward to listening to this again. It's always a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to reading the rest of that book.
Well, thank you.
We're going to do the little bit of the wave as we say goodbye, and thank you guys for coming. Thanks to everyone. It's been a pleasure having you. Thanks to the emoji wave, Colleen, and this is exciting. I hope you guys can come back. It can be like this every week. All we need is you. Can't wait to have some of you return to read again. Keep on looking at the Stone Soup Facebook page. All the information is there. I appreciate all your work and everyone's dedication to this. So have yourself a good night. The show's over. See you next time.
Thank you, Chad. Appreciate this.
Thank you, Patricia.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Thank you
Chad.
for
Thanks, Patricia.
able to make it because it was pretty hard because the heat and they have conflicts. That's the last minute thing. I'm just so tired.
We'll always have video, so don't.
And your hair looks great, Patricia.
Thank you. I chopped off because it's like it's very damaged.
Ooh.
And I'm growing it out my natural hair color. It's like a blonde gray, whatever the hell it is. So I'm gonna see if I like it. If I like it, I'll keep. If I don't, I'll just dye it back. But in the meantime, I have to keep cutting it for the next 6 months.
Oof.
It's gotta grow out. It's damaged.
You guys are
Looks
great.
good though.
You guys are great. Good luck. Pay attention for the YouTube video that'll drop before 9 o'clock tomorrow. Good night,
Night,
everyone.
Fred.
Good night.
See you guys soon.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Mary. Good night.